Hello, my name is Phil Yang. Today I'm very happy and proud to introduce my friend Michael Zhang, whose Chinese name is Zhang, the president of Sensetime, Shangtang in Chinese, #1 player in AI industry in China as well as over the world. I strongly believe that AI is one of the technology areas that China enjoy head start edges. For the development AI technology, Chinese companies have all three components: money, manpower, and government support. There are, however, some misunderstandings about advantage of China in AI. With regard to China's abundant data, for instance, analysts often point to the sheer size of China's population, which owns 1.1 billion mobile devices, and claim that lax privacy law allows free for all with the user data. But China's core data advantage lies not just in the breadth, that is the number of users, and access, that is the amount of data that users contribute, but also in the depth of data on each user. That is, the real-world activities of Chinese people that are captured in a digital format useful to an AI algorithm. Today, we will have great chance to correct our misunderstanding as such by hearing from Mr. Zhang. Interestingly enough, he and I have many common features. Above all, both of us are not technology people, but do business with technology. And we are more humanities-oriented. We love art and beauty more than money and power. More than anything else, we have a diverse paths of life and career. During my high schools at Gyeonggi and college years in Korea, I want to be a revolutionary, and so went to the US to study Chinese Revolution. Finishing my PhD at UCLA, I began to teach at Konkuk University. When the economic crisis called IMF crisis, I decided to do something real. Since then, I have set up a series of my own company with a focus on real estate, entertainment, education, internet contents, and even restaurants. Now I have cross-border business all over the world. I still teach at Tsinghua University in China, SUNY Korea in Korea, and Changchun's vocational education, in which I made investment myself. Mr. Zhang, Michael, was born in 1971 and raised in a poor village of Anhui province. Finishing his university, he went to the US for work. After a brief time of a startup by himself, he decided to continue his education at Columbia MBA and Harvard Law Schools. With a lawyer license of New York State, he worked at Wall Street and handled billions of dollars for M&A and private equity. In 2011, he returned to China and worked both in industry and in finance. For the development Lingang Development District in Shanghai, he managed billions of renminbi. Then in 2017, he joined SenseTime, number one in the China's AI industry and among the top 3 in the world. Now, as a president of SenseTime, Michael is responsible for the company's operation, strategic development, mergers and acquisition, government relations, and other commercial functions. Please welcome Mr. Zhang, President of SenseTime, Shangtang in Chinese, from Shanghai.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure to give a speech at the World Knowledge Forum. I can tell the people still sitting here really loves AI. I will try my best to elaborate the AI industry. My name is Michael Zhang. I'm president of SenseTime. I was a lawyer, banker, and also investor before I joined the SenseTime. And I was also the visiting professor for 2 universities in Shanghai. But the title I'm proud of most is the vice chairman of the Shanghai Fashion Association. I invest in a fashion company in Shanghai, and we will try to promote our fashion line. So approach a group of movie stars in China, try to persuade them to endorse the fashion line I was promoting. But the price asked, the endorsement fee is very, very high. So I decided to cut the cost, because it's a group of movie stars in China. I'm not sure whether you recognize this movie star or not. So I decided to model for the company by myself. I asked my investment team to pose like them. That's me and my investment team. We only spend like $200 for taking the picture. So this story tells us, everything is possible, right? As long as you're brave enough, you can be a movie star for one day. Similarly, the AI is not very mysterious or intimidating. Our ancestors already know how to use AI technology to predict a man's life. Actually, they try to use the data to analyze you by your appearance, even your dressing, right? This is called fortune telling. In 2018, Deloitte, one of the top 4 accounting firms, used AI machine to predict the results of World Cup. They accurately predict in 9 out of 10 computation. I was joking with the CEO of Deloitte. I said, if you bet $10 million at the first game and use half of the proceeds to bet the next game, the total amount you won for the 10 game can buy the entire Deloitte group. So how powerful AI could be. The AI already exists for like more than 60 years. But why suddenly becomes a household name in past 4 years? The defining moment is AlphaGo. In 2016, AlphaGo beat Korean Grandmaster Lee. In 2017, AlphaGo defeated the #1 player in China, Ke Jie. At that time, people started to realize, wow, the intelligence of the emotionless machine can exceed that of human being. That's quite scary. So AI also has huge impact on our daily life. This is, we can reshape your body in picture, also in a video. Because this is a video made by our engineers.
Zile, 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 eu alerg al mile, 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 mile pe Maidan pentru tine, tine, să-ți dau un dar cel mai de preț, dar.
So, during the past 200 years, the technology is always a key driver for the industry revolution. The age of steam really liberates the people from the physical labor. The age of electricity really improves the people, the living condition, the standard of life. Also enables the mass production. The age of information is associated with digitalization. So, but the age of AI is quite different from past three revolutions because AI technology is not only going to change our people's lives, but also control our lives. Here are some milestones for the AI development during the past 5 years. In 2013, Google employed Hinton for $15 million. Then Facebook established the AI lab in New York by hiring the top scientist, Yang Quinn. They tried to develop something, use the machine to recognize people's face. They want to do something surpass the human eyes. The accuracy of human eyes is around 97.45%. But Facebook only can do is 97.35. It's 0.1 difference. In 2014, SenseTime had the breakthrough. We reached 98.42. It's the first time in human history the accuracy of machine for recognize people surpass the human eyes. Then the next some symbolic events is GM acquired Cruise for automation for $1 billion. Then SoftBank and NASA purchased ARM for $31 billion. The next move is Intel acquired Mobileye for $15 billion. AI industry value chain is quite simple, actually. In upstream, we have SenseTime, Google, Facebook. This platform company has a very high technical barrier, but as long as you have enough talents, you still can compete in this area. So I predict there might be some new big company in upstream. But in the middle stream, we call the hardware layer. We have Intel, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, and in South Korea, we have Samsung. This is very, very capital intensive. Not very easy for startup to do it. So I think, including NVIDIA, they are well positioned. But for application layers, I see many opportunities here. I think AI technology is going to reshape a lot of industries. It creates a lot of opportunities for the newcomers. But we have been talking AI for almost like 60 years. The AI, artificial intelligence, was first used in 1956 during a conference at Dartmouth. Because there's 4 prerequisites for AI development. The first one is user cases. We need very large scale of user cases to attract investors. low real-time use, those investors want to put money in. Second, we need computing power because a lot of complicated calculations, so we need GPU right now. The third one is algorithm. We need to pull a lot of top talents to develop the algorithm. The last one, the big data. We need a huge amount of data to train machine, to let a machine to be intelligent. If all these four prerequisites meet, then we can do the commercialization of AI. I give you a brief snapshot of SenseTime. The company was founded in 2014, but we have accumulated 20 years of research experience. Currently, we have 2,300 employees. Half of them are doing research and development. We have more than 250 AI PhDs. We account for almost 50% of AI PhDs in China. We have the most proprietary deep learning platform. Currently, we have highest valuation for AI unicorn in the world. We also have the #1 revenue for the whole industry in AI. We also are the best funded AI startup. In 2014, we raised $20 million from IDG and Star VC in China. Then in 2017, in Series B, we raised $420 million, which was the largest amount of money ever raised by AI startups. In Series C round, we raised $600 million, led by Alibaba, the biggest e-commerce company in China. Then the later of 2017, we raised $620 million, led by Silver Lake, the top TMT fund from the United States. After that, we don't need the money, but we got a call from SoftBank. They are very interested in our company. So after close, but finally we accept the money from SoftBank. After post money, our valuation is more than $6 billion right now. This is the news agency, the global news agency about SenseTime. The Bloomberg says China now has the most valuable AI startup in the world. The CNN says China's AI startup dwarfs global rivals with 4.5 billion valuation, but now it's a 6.0 billion valuation now. The reason why SenseTime is attractive to the investors because we have the very, very advanced deep learning platform, plus the largest Chinese deep learning research team. In terms of the publications, the research, we are just behind Microsoft and CMU, but before Google and Facebook. That's why the capacity of research also needs us the premium, the valuation premium. That's why the investor value us far more than our competitors. Currently, we have very deep network training system. It's far more than our competitors. We have almost 1,200 layers of networking training system. But most of our competitors only have 400 layers. You can see this is the analog to the human neural. Our core technology, which empowers for more than 80 industries, from smart city smart building, smartphone, autonomous driving, even to education. This is one of the products we have developed for public securities. So this is called Sense Crowd, which is monitoring the crowd if the intensity of crowd reaches the dangerous level. So if the color of the crowd turns red, which tells the intensity of the crowd reaches the red dangerous level, the system will give alarm. This is let me see. Because this is a technology we are using for mobile phone. We can use the AI to unlock the cell phone by face recognition in any different angles. We also can enhance the picture and the background of the pictures. We also develop AI technology in autonomous driving. This is a video from Honda. We are teaming up with Honda to develop L4 driving technology, which means you don't need human intervention when you drive on the highway. This is combining the radar and the computer vision together to do the autonomous driving. This is called ADAS, Sense ADAS. It's monitoring the driver while he's driving to monitor whether the driver is distracted or he's tired or he's drunk. So if the sleepiness or distraction continues, the system is going to shut down the car to avoid potential car accidents. So this is the technology we are using to for medical diagnosis. So the medical imaging analysis is very important. So we have developed very advanced technology to monitor the medical imaging system right now. We're teaming with a lot of hospitals in China, so hopefully we can do something in South Korea as well. We are partnering with 700 strategic large companies from fintech, smartphone, car, smart city, IoT, and also mobile internet. But I don't see many companies from South Korea. Hopefully, I hope we do have partners in South Korea in the near future. Yeah. So during the past, 20 years ago, sorry, it tells how old I am. I saw many companies, if they didn't embrace the internet or information technology, I see most of them disappear. So I think the AI is very similar. The age of AI is very similar to the age of internet. So personally, I feel like 10 years from now on, the company will not exist or survive if they don't embrace the AI technology. This is the same strategy in few countries. You can see most of them are developed countries, like US, South Korea, including Sweden, and the only two developing countries, India and China, because our very strong IT infrastructure. So China is catching up. So you can see the AI research paper published and cited, from 1997 to 2017 is ranked number 1 right now. But the top talents reserve, US is still holding the number 1 position. US account for almost 14% of AI talent pool. So China has 8.9, so just behind the United States. India has 8.5. But you can tell, the AI needs huge financing. You can see the percentage of AI financing from the world. US still had the largest investment. They have 50% of the AI investment. China has 33%. The rest of the countries account for 17%. In terms of the difference and the similarity of core AI startup, you can see between the China and the US. In China, the computer vision and the image is the number 1. This is the reason why the SenseTime developing so fast in China. But in the US, the natural language processing is number 1. So you can see the difference. In number 2, the second place is in China is smart robot. Then the third one is natural language processing. But in the US, the computer vision and image is the number 3. The reason is because due to privacy and security issues in the United States. A lot of people thinking AI is as dangerous as a nuclear weapon in the future. Personally, I think the AI is just like nuclear weapon, possessed by very few countries, because the prerequisite of AI, you need large scale user case, you need a lot of money, big data, top talents, and also supercomputing power. So small countries normally cannot afford or to develop the AI technology. But since time, we strongly call for peaceful use. The controversial between from Google, because of military use, but since time we always call for peaceful use. Particularly, we promote the civilian AI applications in more countries, including, South Korea. We want to do more in healthcare, education, retail, and transportations. So, in conclusion, I want to say, AI in Chinese means love. We do want to promote the love, and we do want to make the AI peaceful use. Thank you. Zhang, sorry, go ahead.
张先生把技术变化与社会变动一同看待，主张互联网时代，接下来是人工智能时代，对吧？世界已经临近人工智能时代，不久之后，充分利用人工智能的企业、国家、个人得以生存，反之将不能生存。张先生担任了中在的商汤，不仅是中国位列前茅的人工智能的企业，而且有实力在世界上占据1、2位的世界性的企业。但是问题是商业化。目前商汤已经产生了利润，转网之后利用人脸识别技术，在医学、无人驾驶汽车、安防的领域会产生巨大的销售和利润。张总在短时间内对人工智能从宏观和微观的角度进行了很好的说明，让我确信以商汤为首的中国企业可以跻身领先世界的技术领域，就是人工智能。现在我有3个问题。首先，中国的人工智能技术与美国等国家比较，现在是什么水平？已经实现超越了吗？还是还要等几年？
好，谢谢中国和美国之间的人工智能之间它有不同。比如说刚才我在演讲的时候就说到，中国的就是可能在某些领域领先于美国。比如说在计算机视觉这一块，在这种 video 这一块，在美国可能就在语音识别，包括这种其他的一些应用上面，可能同中国之间有一个不同。那不同的原因是在于两国之间的政治和文化背景不一样。那在美国，它有很多时候，它对这种隐私权非常注重，所以很难去用人脸去发展自己的技术。那中国在这方面，它可能稍微松一点，所以商汤就在比较人脸识别技术，在这种 video streaming 这种技术上面，已经我个人认为是至少是领先于美国，对。但在语言处理方面，那美国这方面很强，他们已经发展了很多年。所以在这一块呢，它是比中国要发达的。
I'm sorry. They don't have Chinese translation.
Okay.
So shall we repeat what we just discussed? I just sum up what he said today, and then I went to the raise questions. Number one, can you repeat again? Okay. Number one, my question was Chinese AI, in terms of technology, can you compare with the United States?
Okay.
And what if there is always, China already surpassed United States, or we gotta wait, see that kind of happen?
I think the difference between United States and China is, I think China has pretty strong on the computer vision and the video stream technology. The US maybe is strong on the natural language processing area. The reason because this is due to the cultural and the regulatory difference. The United States or Europe, they pay more attention to the privacy, and you cannot use the data to train the machine, right? But in China, it's kind of, in this area, the regulatory, the regulation is not very tight. So we can use people's data to train the machine, to make the machine more intelligent. So one of the key elements for AI is to make the machine learning more intelligent. So if you don't have the data, you cannot improve the AI technology.
Okay, then I have the second question. Do you have, can you tell us the details of your global strategy?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Some people ask me, say, Michael, do you know how to market AI? What's the trend for AI? I said, I was joking with one reporter saying, sorry, no, I really don't know. If I really knew, I also cannot tell you, right? Because there's so many big companies are investing in AI area. If everyone knows how to do it, I think SenseTime doesn't have any chance to survive, right? So, but the beauty of AI is that, no one really knows what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. But we only know that's the big direction. Right? So we are going to, now we have office in Tokyo, in Singapore, and we also have office in Silicon Valley. So in Japan, we are trying to develop autonomous driving technology with Honda, right? But in Singapore, we are doing smart cities. Right? So we have very different focus. But the global, but obviously we want to expand our market in terms of education, in terms of healthcare. Yeah, you mentioned last slide. It's the IT infrastructure for the medical area in South Korea is very, very good. Actually, it's a foundation for AI technology. So we really want to expand in South Korea right now.
That's the number 3 question. Actually, we had a drink last night. We discussed about the possibility of Zhang and the SenseTime coming into Korea for cooperation. So number 3 question I already answered, but I wanted after we had a drink, do you have more thought about how SenseTime come to Korea, not only for the Korean market, but also for the global market? I think we have good quality of manpower, and now we have some money too. So do you have any idea? I mean, just over the one day, the work together with the Korean companies, individuals, and university. So for global market.
Yeah. Thanks for your drinks. Your drink really enlightened my mind last night. Now I was thinking for the whole night how to do business or how to get into the South Korea market. And I had a meeting with one senior management team of SK this morning. And I realized we have a lot of things can do together, from autonomous driving, from like a computer vision, from voice recognition. I think South Korea is pretty strong in the kind of natural language processing, but in autonomous driving, in smart cities, I think it's kind of lag behind. So I hope South Korea can leverage the technology SenseTime has now to develop or to catch up in the next 5 to 10 years. I think the AI will be, in every country, I think AI will be the national interest. So it's very important for the government to promote, to endorse, to support the AI technology. In China, the government very strongly support the AI industry, which also caused some problem between China and the US, because the US is blaming China for subsidizing the AI industry. So, but I do think it's very important for South Korea to do that, because as I said, the 2 or 4 prerequisites for developing AI, right? So top talents, I think you just mentioned that we need to collaborate with top university in South Korea to train the top talents. I think the big data, South Korea has 60 million people, right? But China has 1.4 billion people, right? So we have huge data. So we can use the kind of algorithm we train in China, then give it to the company in South Korea for them to use for different applications. So actually, I think the South Korea is the right size for us to deploy our global strategy, because if we do successfully in South Korea, which means we are going to succeed in most countries.
제가 생각하기에 어저께 술 한잔 산 게 많은 효과가 있었던 것 같습니다. 지금부터 몇 분의 그 질문 내지는 그 코멘트를 받고 싶습니다. 지금 한 6분의 우리 스태프들이 계시는데, 만약에 하실 말씀 있으면 손을 들어주시고, 그리고 먼저 간단하게 본인이 누구다라고 말씀해 주시고 질문이나 또는 코멘트를 듣겠습니다.
My name is JSU. I am an executive at Korea Securities Depository, which is a financial company. Thank you for Mr. Zhang. My question is, you said your company has very strong R&D staff and 250 more researchers. By the way, my question is actually, are they mostly Chinese, or you have any plan to hire, the foreign, non-Chinese technological staff? Well, because I think the key in this industry, I think, to acquire many talents, around the world. Yeah, thank you.
That's right. It's kind of, the voice is kind of breaking. So if I understand it correctly, it's yes, we have almost more than 1,000 researchers, 250 more PhD. Yeah, we hire PhD, and top researchers, top scientists from all different kind of background. We hire people from, but the most is from United States or Europe. We also hire people from China, I think 70% of the PhD are trained overseas. Yeah. So, did I answer your question? Sorry.
I think he is touched about the manpower, the non-Chinese. In Chinese business, we have a concept that Chinese and non-Chinese. That kind of dichotomy is used in China. So the gentleman over there, they raised rather than question, he raises his own idea. Okay, anyone? 다른 분 계시는지요? 그 질문 준비하시는 동안에 그렇지 않아도 어저께 그 VIP 디너가 있었습니다. 그때 우연히 한덕수 전 총리가 앉으셨고 저 옆에, 그다음에 김광두 교수님, 지금 아마 그분이 지금 현재 정부의 무슨 위원장을, 대통령 직속 위원장을 맡고 계십니다. 두 분 다 저하고는 그냥 그 개인적으로 얽히는 관계였고, 또 오랜만에 뵀는데 자연스럽게 AI에 대한 문제를 이야기했습니다. 그래서 특히 한 전 총리께서는 우리가 너무 준비가 안 돼 있다. 그리고 또 김광두 교수께서도 뭔가 AI 분야에 있어서는 중국과의 협력은 필연적인데 어떻게 해야 되는지조차도 모르겠다. 그런 그 걱정들을 하셨습니다, 어저께는. 그래서 제가 오늘 특별히 어떻게 한국하고 구체적으로 국가적인 차원에서 이야기할 건 없고요. 센스타임하고 한국의 기업, 또 한국의 대학, 그리고 한국의 인재들, 엔지니어들이라든가 어떻게 합작할 수 있는가, 이런 부분에 대한 질문을 하게 된 것입니다. 또 다른 분 없으신지요? 그러면 제가 좀 더 이야기를 진행하겠습니다. Michael, I think there are the many areas of AI. When the voice recognition is available, there is no one who takes chance for the making money. Like Google, they try, they didn't make money. I think face recognition is the beginning of AI time that people can make money on it. Can you elaborate further on the face recognition and voice recognition and other areas of AI, and the possibility to make business?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. We, as a senior management team of SenseTime, I have been thinking and how to monetize our technology for the next 5 years. The voice recognition is very difficult to make money because there's a large scale of commercialization for voice recognition, and no one wants to pay for it. That's a problem, right? It's because the young generation, they are used to get everything for free, right? But for facial recognition, one of the key drivers is the government. In China, the government are willing to pay for the facial recognition technology because they want maybe make the public more safer, right? So that's the reason why computer vision is developing very fast in China, but not in United States, not in Europe, because this is the first time, in terms of the scale, the facial recognition is like cash cow for AI company right now. So that's the reason. At the very beginning, Tencent, Google, Baidu, which is also a search engine company in China, they didn't pay attention to this. But right now, everyone is jumping in. They want to get a share of the facial recognition market right now.
In order to prepare today's talk, I read some historical stuff. I divided some stages for the technological development and business. At the left hand, the copying, and then tweaking, and then innovating, then inventing, then finally discovering. These 5 stages are, when we going back to history, have different stories. Copying, okay, we can make money. The people outside of China still blame that China is copycat, but still can make money. Tweaking is different from the copying. Copying is complete 100% copying. Then tweaking is just add 5% of new idea to the original technology and original idea. That make Chinese company making huge money right now. Tweaking. Innovation. Usually American the businessmen say that without innovation there is no way for survival, for the prosperity. But to me, tweaking is much better than innovating in order to make money. Then inventing. Inventing is hard to make money. Do you know who inventing the mobile phone? Nobody knows it. That means no one made money from that. Finally, discovery. My wife is a scientist. She worked very hard every day, but she didn't make any penny. She doesn't care about making money at all. So China, we gotta look at again to China. What kind of model, business model, by using technology? So my second question, the SenseTime's technology of face recognition, or the China's level of technology in that area is still behind the U.S.
Yeah, it's.
But it still can make money better than U.S. companies.
Because it's a different market. You are asking a very good question. When we began to do the fundraising, the investor asked me saying that, you cannot just focus on the technology, right? Focus on IP. It's the patents Chinese filed. It's the number of the patents China filed is almost equal to the number of patents filed in the United States. But the fee the Chinese company can charge, we call the IP license fee, is only 1% of the fee collected by the U.S. company. So the investor was doubting us, saying, if you only focus on the IP, right, I don't see you go anywhere. So we were kind of confused at the time, but we had a very long discussion with our, senior management team, and we decided to focus on the technology and IP, which, we are, heavily rewarded by the investor right now. We have one theory called escape the gravity, which means if we upgrade our technology fast enough, then the competitors, we don't care whether they copy us or not. So this is what we're doing right now. So we upgrade our technology like every month. So even they copy, we don't no, they still cannot catch us. So this is finally the investor realized that, oh, this is the way it should do in China. This things is also happening in the United States as well. But frankly, the U.S. Protect the IP far better than China. But the Chinese government also realizes this. They also try to promote IP protection right now, particularly after the trade war between the U.S. and China.
이제 마지막으로 혹시 질문이 없으면 제가 마감을 하려고 합니다. 어저께 제가 저녁 식사 직전에 어떤 세션에 들어갔었어요. 마침 그게 뭐냐면 G2 and Middle Powers 이런 G2에 관한 이야기였는데요. 그 G2에 관한 이야기 중에 우리가 빼놓을 수 없는 게 방금 마이클 장이 말한 지적 재산권에 대한 문제입니다. 그런데 제가 느끼기에는 지적 재산권이나 또 비즈니스 모델, 기술을 이용한 비즈니스 모델이 미국과 중국이 다른 생각을 갖고 있는 것 같아요. 이건 단순히 누가 뭐 카피했다, 누가 이노베이팅했다 이런 문제가 아니고 근본적으로 다른 생각과 다른 모델이 있는데 우리가 어떤 면에서는 중국에서 이루어지고 있는 기술을 이용한 비즈니스 그런데 조금은 다른 생각을 갖고 있다. 미국이나 우리가 지금까지 생각하는 것과 그런 면에서 우리가 주목해야 할 분야가 이 인공지능이라고 봅니다. 인공지능은 제가 서울대에서 말씀드렸다시피 중국이 그 헤드스타트를 갖고 있어요. 처음부터 유리한 조건을 갖고 있다고 저는 봅니다. 그래서 우리는 그런 면에서 어떻게 중국의 기술 발전을 어떻게 보면 지금까지 미국이나 유럽에서 있었던 기술적 발전을 이용했다면 이제 어떤 면에서 처음으로 중국에서 발전되는 원천적인 기술 또는 응용적인 기술을 우리 한국의 기업과 한국의 대학이나 한국의 엔지니어들이 사용할 수 있을까? 이거를 뭐 중국이 잘했다, 우리 지금 뒤져 있다 이렇게만 우리가 생각할 것이 아니고 적극적으로 우리가 중국 기업과의 합작을 통해서 그러한 새로운 시각의 기술을 이용한 사업 모델 이런 것을 창출할 때가 되지 않았는가. 그런 면에서 인공지능에 대한 중국의 그 발전 과정 그리고 특히 센스타임이 갑자기 뭐 아무도 듣지도 못했던 이름을 갑자기 듣기 시작하고 세계에 돈이 쏠리고 인재가 쏠리고 실은 제가 이 센스타임하고 경쟁하는 회사인 뭐 페이스 플러스라는 회사도 잘 압니다. 그래서 이렇게 보면은 인공지능 분야에 관해서는 최소한 우리가 중국과 보다 긴밀한 협력과 또 우리도 중국 모델을 오히려 배우겠다는 그런 자세를 가질 필요가 있지 않나 하는 생각이 듭니다. 오늘 바로 점심 맘 먹고 하는 가장 어려운 시간에 많은 분들 참석해 주셨고 특히 상해 회사가 있지만 이번에 올 때는 심천에서 왔다고 합니다. 이렇게 바삐 중국뿐만 아니라 이렇게 뛰어다니는 마이클 장이 우리 이 세션을 위해서 서울까지 달려오고 오늘 또 오후에 떠납니다. 이렇게 바쁜 시간을 내준 마이클 장에게 우리 같이 박수를 치면서 이 세션을 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다.